What's up, y'all? In today's video, I want to just talk about I don't know what this is. I want to talk about some few lessons and reminders that I had this week. So this week, I was able to I was really excited to speak to some higher ed professionals, around 200 to 300, as well as around 30 or so of all of the presidents, student body presidents, and vice presidents of all like 12 or so universities who was in the room. So we had the higher ed professionals and we had the student body presidents and vice presidents in the room combined, as well as one of those people in the room was a mentor of mine. So while I was at UNC Charlotte, I was in a leadership development office, and there was a woman there who guided me throughout those 4 years, helped me create some of my first workshops. So I was really excited to do that keynote presentation because of the mix of people in the room, as well as she was in the room. So prepared, was ready to go. Actually got to the engagement. I think I was supposed to speak at 9. Anytime I'm speaking, I try to be there at least an hour before, so that would have been 8. But I got there at 7 because I just felt like, hey, I want to make sure that everything goes right. Want to make sure I'm prepared. Want to make sure that anything that could go wrong, we're ready to go. So I get there. When I get into the room, the person who hired me just wasn't there yet. I know there's a lot happening when you're running an event, so cool there. But tech wasn't there yet as well. Again, it's 2 hours before, so that's fine. But there was no projector set up. We were in a gym. There was tables. So what I do is I immediately start getting out all of my fire pits, all the things that fake fire pits, all the stuff that I need in order to make sure that the keynote is going to be what it needs to be. But everything I need to get out before I get out my computer and all those things. So get that set up. Hit up the person in charge. Around an hour later is when tech gets there. So now we're an hour out before keynote. He looks around like, oh, where's the projector? There's no projector. Where's the screen? So I'm like, oh, shoot, we're like an hour out, which is, we still got time. I'm like, where's sound going to be? Well, it goes up to this board. Like, he's trying to figure out, he's on the phone calling people, trying to figure these things out, which makes me nervous because for me, my keynote presentation is very interactive. And a part of that activities, part of that interaction comes with like music and videos and things that are like adding to the presentation to go along with the stories and the lessons and things that I try to share. So that music is important. Like the videos that I show is important. All of the cues, all of those things need to happen. So we wind up getting, let's just say we get close to 9 o'clock where I'm supposed to speak. We're like almost at 9. We are struggling to find the sound. We're disconnecting things, adding things, sound not working, sound is staticky. We get to 9:05. Now we're over the time. And if anyone knows anything about me, I like to start on time. I like to have everything ready. I like late, especially since I only had 45 minutes. I usually went like in about an hour. But for this keynote, I only had 50 minutes. So every minute that passes by, I'm like, that's less time I get with the people in the room. That's the last time I get to do and be able to impact the way I want to. So the time is clicking. We're trying staticky. He's still trying to do something. But at this point, I'm like, yo, we're getting close to 10 minutes in. And I'm like, all right, let's just go. Let's go with the flow. So I'll tell y'all how the presentation went in a moment, but let me share this. One of the biggest things about anything when you feel nervous about an event, when you feel nervous about something you're about to do, preparation is so key. Making sure that you are prepared, make sure that you have everything that you can or everything that you can handle within your control really helps that fear, that nervousness, any type of feeling that you have. Because if you have everything that you can do, everything that's in your control, it just makes it a lot easier because there's always going to be things that come that is not in your control. So if you can handle everything that is within your sphere of influence, then it makes things a lot easier. So now the presentation starts. I come on to music. The song goes on. Guess what, y'all? The song is like low, staticky. And I'm like, oh. Like, but the show goes on. So I go up on stage and I'm start singing, and people like realizing like, oh, this music's supposed to be louder, and they're singing with me, and we're rocking. But I'm still like, oh God, because you start out the way it didn't start the way I wanted to. So we rock and roll throughout the presentation. Presentation. Let's look at the screen. So the screen, for example, let's say the screen is supposed to be normally like this size. The screen is actually this size. It's on the stage. Like the stage is small. So if you think about like a slide, there's words on my slides. that I shared that are like not on the slide because the screen is so small. There's a video that I want to show, like it's like not on the screen because of the slide is so small. Stories that I'm trying to show just not working, not flowing. But I go with the flow. I'm moving because I practice, because I'm prepared, because I'm ready. And in my body, like everything in my body, I'm like burning up. I'm like, oh, look good, because I know what good looks like. I know what like 100% looks like, and I'm giving my all. But what we have to realize also is that the people you're speaking to, that's the first time they might be seeing you. That's the first time they might be experiencing something, especially if you're a professional speaker. But if you're practicing and if you're ready to go, your best, or let's just say your worst, is often sometimes someone's best. So I have to remind myself in my journey while I was up there that, there, you got this. Keep it going. You're a professional. So a few things I wrote down is self-talk is important. So what you're saying to yourself is important. So for me, the one thing that I say is, Daryl, you're a professional. When things go wrong before, when things go wrong during, Daryl, you're a professional speaker. Like, you are built for these mistakes. You are, like, you're practiced. You're ready to go. If anybody can handle this, you can handle this. And that always gets me in a mindset, because things always go wrong. Things always happen. But you have to be ready because you are a professional. You are paid to do this. If they just wanted Joe Blow off the street to come, they would have hired that person, and that person probably wouldn't be able to handle it, but you can handle it. So self-talk is important. Preparation is important. I was ready. I knew my cues, even though the music and different things didn't happen the way I wanted to, because I was prepared. I was able to, I had this moment where I had people switch seats real quick. So I wound up doing that earlier because things were slowing down pace-wise, because music wasn't where I needed to be. I was able to switch things up because I was prepared and because I was ready to go. It made me, it allowed me to be able to switch things up on a spot, to make sure that the keynote presentation was still interactive and still what I needed to be. Another thing, y'all, which was a struggle, if you've ever seen me speak before, there was a mic. I didn't have the lapel mic that like sits on me so I could walk around that room. There was tables. We're like in a gym in a way, with circle tables, so I couldn't walk around because I had a mic that was literally on a string. That's like the worst thing possible for someone who likes to walk around and engage and like do his thing. Whew. But I made it through. Okay. Self-talk, preparation, renewing, plot, starter. I don't even know what that was about to say. Okay. But overall, when we think about the keynote presentation, I finished. Did it go the way I imagined it? The way I, like, that morning, did it go the way that I thought it would go? With all the changes and shifts and sound, all this, it didn't, but I completed it. I still got great reviews. People still came to me and said how much they enjoyed it. People still did the recommendation form, those forms, they still filled those out. And then I was able to speak to a smaller group, so I spoke to the professionals and students together, and then I got a chance to speak to a smaller group of just the presidents and vice presidents and a few of the leaders from all the different campuses, and that felt great. Was able to share with them some of my challenges, some of my struggles during the keynote before, share with them how I still get fearful, I still get nervous, like those are normal feelings, and walking them through some of the things that I do, and just being transparent and letting them know that there's nothing wrong with the way that they're feeling around, whether they're leading a meeting, they're leading their whole campus. Like, y'all, we know all the things that are happening in the world, all the challenges, from social to technology to, we got wars. We have so many things going on that these students have to be in the space where they're sometimes using their voice. They're sometimes having to stand up, having to be courageous. And I wanted them to know that, hey, like, we're all in this together. We're all taking these small steps. So I talked about the Fearless Band, had them share stories and all those things. But overall, I just want to say that the event ended. I look back at that and just remind myself that as I go into spaces, and I want to remind you, as you go into spaces, preparation is key. What you're saying to yourself during is key. All of those things allow you to be able to perform, to be able to impact, to be able to execute whether or not there's a problem or challenge. Whether you're a speaker, whether you are a corporate professional watching this video and you have to speak sometimes, whether you're a student, whether you're a real estate agent, I don't know who you, whatever, no matter where you are, no matter your parent, I don't know whatever you, no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, it's important to be ready because you never know what might happen. So overall, great week, interesting time, but I learned a lot, and I'm going to be taking those lessons to next week and beyond. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Thank you for coming back for another week. Let me know, like this video, if you enjoyed it. Feel free to leave a comment. I will look back tomorrow. I would love to hear your thoughts. Any thoughts you have on what we talked about? Meet you at the top because the bottom is getting way too crowded, y'all. Peace.